It is Let's Talk Arts and Entertainment on WMAY. Well, there's still quite a bit going on here in the area, and of course elsewhere, a little bit around the area as well. The Illinois Symphony Orchestra, of course, always puts on great concerts, does great things, and they have a concert this weekend called Resounding and Romantic. And joining me is Rachel Pinto. We also have Micah McLaurin and Ken Lamb all joining me. How are you guys?
Very good, thank
you.
you.
Great.
Good, thank you guys for being with me. So the concert, Resounding and Romantic. So if somebody just wants to start off, what is this whole concert about? We have Ken is going to be conducting, and Micah will be playing the piano. So what is this concert all about?
Well, Kevin, thanks for having us with you this morning. It's the second Masterworks concert of the Illinois Symphony Orchestra, and this time we're featuring mostly Russian music. We have the Shostakovich's Ninth Symphony and a piece that I think everybody loves, the Rachmaninoff's Second Piano Concerto, and Micah is our pianist for the concerto. Now, before we go to Micah and maybe ask him a little bit about the concerto, we also have an opener, which is a world premiere by a composer, an Illinois composer, Roger Zaire, and he is a professor of composition at Illinois State University. And this work we were supposed to play it last season, but of course, because of COVID, that premiere has to be postponed. So we're very, very happy to be able to do it this weekend.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That is going to be very, very exciting. That concert will be taking place tomorrow and on Sunday. And so then, Micah, you were the pianist for this concert, playing these concertos. How long have you been playing piano? Because I can bang out some chords, but I mean, as far as like playing, really, really playing piano, I've at some point, it's something I, like to get, work up to. But how long have you been doing piano, and how much have you been, doing it in your life?
I mean, I've been playing since I was 8, and it's taken up my whole life since then. So, yeah, forever in what it feels like. But yeah.
Very good. And then tell us a little bit about these pieces that you guys are doing, the different concertos and symphonies.
Yeah, so the Rachmaninoff, obviously, it's one of the greatest piano concertos ever written. And Micah, you also have a relationship with this concerto, haven't you? This is not the first time you played it, and so tell us about when did you first got to know this concerto?
I first learned this concerto probably more than 10 years ago, and I performed it the first time in 2013 with the Charleston Symphony and Joanne Valletta. So this is actually my second time performing the piece. And
Yeah.
I mean, after all these years, it still has its beauty, and I still get the chills in some of the beautiful melodies.
Yeah, and what is it about? I think for this concerto, for the audience, they obviously love the great Russian melodies and so on. For a pianist, what do you look forward to most when you play this concerto? What's the aspects of this concerto that you really enjoy?
We get to play a few melodies that are just sublime, and they're so satisfying to perform. They're very satisfying emotionally. They move me personally, and I think they move the audience very deeply. And it's pretty universal in the way that they're so emotionally connected to people, because the melodies have been used in many pop songs as well.
Yeah, I think I would say the same thing about the orchestra part as well. I mean, most of the time, of course, in the piano concerto, the pianist is the star, and he or she, they play all the technical stuff in the middle. But for Rachmaninoff, once every now and then, usually towards the end of the concerto, the Russian composers like Rachmaninoff and Tchaikovsky, they actually give the big tune to the orchestra, so we get to really play and sing as well, and so that's amazing. Now, Micah, I actually want to ask you. Obviously, the pandemic has been really hard hit for us musicians, and in the Illinois Symphony, we've been doing a little concerts online for our audience in the past year and a half, musicians playing at home, and we're zooming these concerts, and now we because of, I guess, thanks to the pandemic, we now have these sort of Zoom interviews
Yeah.
or on StreamYard and so on. And so what has it been for you and for all your pianist colleagues during the pandemic? Is it much different, or is it kind of the same, but it's just, yeah.
Well, during the pandemic, I mean, obviously, all concerts were canceled. So I focused on media. I focused on social media, Instagram, TikTok. I made my first studio album of Chopin. So I was recording. I bought recording equipment to record myself at home. Yeah, I took another direction with media and filming and recording.
Yeah,
And
and it's
it was
actually
productive. It was not. I don't feel I lost time in that period because it was productive.
so
That's
Kevin.
awesome.
Micah
What's
is
up?
a very interesting artist, because
Yeah.
I think with this technology and the social media, Micah, you've also branched out to, I mean, you play Chopin and Rachmaninoff and so on, but you also are dabbling in another genre. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I had the desire to create more because I felt like I was only playing other people's music. I was only playing the notes that were written on the page, and I wanted to be more personal and create more. And some of what I wanted to play was not even written. Like I
Yeah.
played these transcriptions by Weissenberg of some French pop songs, and I remember wishing there was more music along those lines, but there wasn't. So I started to try to arrange songs myself. I took some jazz lessons, and so I'm doing more arrangements myself now. Mhm. So
Oh,
I'm not
wow.
just playing strictly classical, I'm also creating.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also because of the media aspect of it, you also have ventured. Not so. For instance, your the image that you set is not always just wearing a sort of what we call our sort of penguin suit uniform, right?
Mhm.
And how did that come about?
I think that was always a part of me, but I wasn't able to fully express it until recently because a lot of people told me not to dress the way I dress, and the classical world is very traditional and they don't want people to be flamboyant or anything. So a lot of people told me not to do that, so I kind of toned it down. And then once I got out of school and conservatory, and I I started to realize that I could make my own rules, and that so I decided to express myself more fully and celebrate music visually as well with costumes and fashion.
And that must be interesting, because obviously for the younger generation, your generation and maybe even younger, media is such a multifaceted thing. It's not just sound; it's always combined with image. And what have you found? Have you found people who follow you on social media? Are they uh, because we always talk about the classical music audience being, oh, they're all older and the same sort of people. What have you found the people following you on social? Are they different from that crowd, or what sort of people do you get? And do you get a lot of interaction with these?
Yeah, I got
Fo-
a lot of interaction. I got a lot of um, positive comments from fans, and I got many messages. So people were really appreciative of what I was doing. And I had a live performance in New York in February where I played on a Steinway that had a floral print designed by Trisha Paolucci.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I guess, Kevin, that's maybe for
And then I
Rachel.
wore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah, go on, Micah.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're about to say something. I was sort of,
Sorry?
tongue all over it. So go ahead. What's up?
Well,
Oh, I forgot what I was
yeah, that's
gonna
okay.
say.
I was just saying, like with I guess with Rachel and maybe Kevin, you know this, like for classical music to keep going, I think it's really important that we also move with the times. And I think Micah's doing that. Micah's appealing, to a different, different audience. But he still plays Chopin. He'll still play the Rachmaninoff. But now there's another element to it. So
No.
this weekend, what can our audience expect? Are you going to be in your tuxedo, or are you going to be wearing something else?
I'm gonna be wearing something with Swarovski stones, so it's gonna be very sparkly.
Wow,
Nice.
that's
Very,
fantastic.
very good. Yeah. All right, so that is coming up this weekend. That is going to be at the Sangman Auditorium Performing Arts Center, 7:30 tomorrow on Saturday. But then also, guys, going to be in Bloomington on Sunday. Is that correct? For the 3 p.m. show there. Yes.
Something else that we always host right before the concerts are our concert comments, and so Micah is going to be interviewed by Mark McDonald here in Springfield and then Laura Kennedy in Bloomington. And so we encourage our audiences to come early, at least an hour early before the doors open. So 2 p.m. Sunday and 6:30 p.m. tomorrow night or tonight, whenever this airs. And they'll get a very kind of intimate setting to really get to know more of the music that we're playing, Micah's background, Micah's thoughts and feelings about the concert. So it's a very nice hour just to get to know the music and the performance. So we really encourage our audiences to join us for that.
Very good. That is going to be right before the performance. Like Rachel said, make sure to get there early. Micah on the piano, Ken conducting. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. Break legs this weekend. It's going to be wonderful. I'm absolutely sure. Guys, thank you so much for joining me and hope to talk again
Thank you.
soon.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you. So let's talk arts and entertainment on WMAY.